It's time to get schooled by the teen sensation of true crime.
Here's our resident boy genius with this week's Sidebar.
Hi, my name is Ryan Kester. I'm a pre-law junior at the University of Texas at Dallas, and ever since I was 9 years old, I've been attending trials, researching cases, and poring over hundreds of thousands of pages of courtroom evidence and police documents, all in the name of true crime. On today's episode of Sidebar, we're going to be discussing the topic, the change of venue. So, what is a change of venue? Typically, you'll see a change of venue in very high-profile cases where the defense feels that their client has been so prejudiced by pretrial publicity that they are unable to get a fair trial in the county in which the crime took place. A very popular case that experienced a change of venue was the O.J. Simpson case. The murders took place in Brentwood, and the trial was supposed to take place in Santa Monica, but the prosecution actually elected to have the trial moved to Los Angeles for fear that the Santa Monica community had too much of an attachment to O.J. Simpson. In a case where the defense felt like the pretrial publicity was so overwhelming, the Casey Anthony trial. There, the trial didn't actually move. Rather, jurors were selected from 2 counties over from Orlando in the name of getting Casey Anthony a fair trial, which obviously on the defense's part was a smart move. Typically, change of venues don't involve moving the trial extremely far away, but there are some notable exceptions, such as the case of Walker Rayleigh, who was a Dallas man who was put on trial for the attempted murder of his wife. He was a very prominent televangelist, and that trial was actually moved several hundred miles down away from Dallas to San Antonio, Texas. The reason being that, again, there was simply too much publicity. Typically, what a judge weighs when they're considering a change of venue is not distance, rather avoiding the feeling of, it happened in my own backyard. Typically, jurors who are exposed to a lot of that sensationalism and almost fear-mongering because of the proximity of the murder are more likely to vote with emotion as opposed to the evidence that's presented in court. So the significance of that and of the change of venue is, again, simply to ensure that the defendant and the state get the fair trial they are entitled to. Well, I have to go work on my English essay, otherwise my professor is going to be very upset with me, so I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Sidebar.